the U.S. we experienced that in the 90s, and it was when the term alternative music started to get a foothold in the charts. Alternative music at the time was Fugazi, Husker Du, Replacements, bands like that. Stuff that you would maybe get played on college radio. It was then.
And we don't have college radio. We don't have college radio.
See, and that's then all of a sudden bands that were signed to like Geffen and A&M started Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Soundgarden. Nirvana, was considered alternative when they were on Sub Pop, but they were still considered alternative when they had the best-selling album for 58 weeks or something like that, and they weren't alternative. They were what was on the radio, and then suddenly the record stores had an alternative section. And then the word alternative is completely corrupted at that point because it's a major label being sold in mainstream record stores. That's not alternative. So
but they had an alternative mind because if you are a major label artist, you don't release in utero.
Right.
You
in
don't
the 90s
release
though.
Incesticide.
But see,
you don't release No Code or Vitalogy.
I hated Vitalogy. I got another unpopular opinion. I love Pearl Jam's first two albums.
The mind. It's a thing about the mind. Mm-hmm. If you are an independent mindset, an alternative mindset, you can go on a major label and release in utero or release a very strong record that is not made for your audience. It's not made for the charts. It's just made for yourself.
Yeah.
Like Radiohead. They have a big budget and they are independent.
Right.
Even if they now I think they have their own label, but if they were on Geffen, they do just experimental music because they are experimental. They have their mind is experimental.
Yeah.
And the fact here is that you are independent, but you're doing things to just be liked.
Right.
That's the main purpose of this music. For the charts, for the audience, because your audience is expecting something from you.
That's a good point.
And you're going to do the same thing forever.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. So a band like Radiohead.
That's bad. That's not indie for me. That's not independent.
Right.
That's not alternative. That's nothing. That's pop music. And you can do that, but don't call yourself indie, please.
That's a good point.
That's my point.
So the new album,
the new album is called The Gospel.
Yeah. So as you were working on this album, it took you you said 4 years to write and record this album?
4 years because I found a job. Thank God.
Well, that's good.
I found a job, so it's difficult when you don't have a label and you want to release a record that has to be the same level of what you're listening to. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing when you are independent and you're small and you're doing things in your house, in your studio, without a producer, and you are the producer, and you are the engineer. Actually, my bass player is the engineer, but you want to do a record that can stay between your favorite bands, your favorite record. Mm-hmm. You are trying to do that, and that's why I work with Alain Johannes. But we'll go.
Yeah, we'll definitely. I definitely want to find out about that.
But it took me 4 years because it was a very strong moment of my life. I found a job. I had less time ever, and it took me a lot to write, arrange. I made up a band. Okay. So it's always me, it's always a solo, a singer-songwriter thing, Garry Pitcairn, but we are calling ourselves the Garry Pitcairn Orchestra, but we are 5 people.
Okay.
We're the Garry Pitcairn Orchestra, and we have, and we did the record as a band with a drummer, a bass player, and a piano, keyboard, synth player, and me as all the other stuff.
As the conductor.
I was a conductor, because when I write songs, I have in my mind most of the instruments and the arrangement. So I found myself in the studio looking at the drummer and making like gestures like a conductor.
Yes.
Because I know what he has to play, like the hi-hat or the ride or crash at the single moment. So I have to conduct him.
Okay.
And as an Italian, you can see, because you can see me right now.
Yeah.
I'm making a lot of gestures.
Yes. I'm Irish and I do that a lot. So maybe I got a little Italian in me somewhere.
Yeah. and it was very it's natural for me to think about songs while I'm writing them, to think about the arrangement and the instruments, and and with this record it took me a lot, because I had great arrangements in my mind, like instruments that I actually don't have, like saxophone. And there are 4 or 5 songs in the record with saxophone.
Yes.
I don't play saxophone. And we hired a saxophone player that is a friend of a friend for 4 hours. One afternoon in Turin, we recorded that. He improvised everything.
Oh, wow.
That go away. I've never seen him after that. I was like, okay, this song is D, G sharp, whatever, the chords. And was like, okay, no problem. This is standard jazz. Hey, I was like, okay, really? Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
Can you do some John Coltrane stuff? Yeah, sure. Okay.
That's awesome.
He did this amazing solo that is in a song called the one and only JHC.
Yes.
Jesus H. Christ. This amazing solo that reminded me of Pink Floyd, like "Shine on You Crazy Diamond," that thing, and I was like, okay, that's great, that's amazing. And I never thought I had a saxophone in my album, because I don't know anyone who plays saxophone, but and I wanted a gospel choir, and my piano player actually sing. I don't know if he sings anymore, but sings in a gospel choir.
Wow.
So it was like, okay, I have my friends. Okay, with €0, I had a gospel choir. Like
that's
8
awesome.
people. We recorded that gospel choir in a school near our studio, and we had a gospel choir in the last song of the record, called "Returning."
Yes.
And that's why it took so long, because I wanted so much different things for this record. And I was like, okay, I don't have a producer, I don't have a budget, I don't have anything, but I want to do it seriously. So if it took me more than 1 year or 2 years, that's no problem, because I want to do something that is serious.
Yeah.
And even if I don't have money, I can do that. And that's my idea. Even if you don't know how to do that, you can do that.
You figure out a way to do it.
Wrong? Yeah, your way. It's your way, but you're doing that. And lots of friends are saying, "Oh, how can you do that? How can you have this choir? How can you have this arrangement?"
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, I don't know. I see it in my head.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, that's the thing. It looks like a mantra, or I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's exactly.
Something like spiritual thing. And this record is a very spiritual record for me. I'm being raised in Catholic schools. Mm-hmm. But my parents are not that Catholic, like standard flat Catholics. Okay. And but I've been in a nuns school for all my life.
Yeah.
And but I'm not Catholic at all. But I know all the stuff about Catholicism and the stories, and the record is called The Gospel.
Right.
But it's not a preaching record. It's not a Christian rock record.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm using that images to tell other stories, like metaphors. It's like because one of my favorite band is Depeche Mode, and if you listen to Depeche Mode and Martin L. Gore way of writing songs, he's always using Christian images.
Okay.
To tell something else, to tell something about maybe his own state of mind, his own life, his own I don't know what's happening to him,
right? And
maybe his idea of the world. But he's not Catholic, and he's not Christian, but he's telling stories like Nick Cave, like Mark Lanigan, like Michael Girard. They're all using this kind of images. But they're not just telling what it is, like here is Jesus and he's doing this and that and going there and that. But it's a metaphor to represent some state of mind. And that's what happened with my record. That is a kind of a concept record, I think. And it's about some sense of loss that I had in this year. Some sense of abandon in a way. I don't know how to manage my life and make choices or not. And I was really into other concept record like Murder Ballads by Nick Cave, some songs are inspired by that. And the idea of the gospel, it's not the actual gospel. But it's kind of my own gospel, using those images to tell about stories.
To tell your story.
Stories, different stories. Like all the songs that have different characters, and there are 2 or 3 that are about myself, and all the other stories are about fictional characters. Like Devil is about fictional character, or the one and only is actually inspired by a book called Flatlands. I don't know if you know that.
I'm not familiar with that.
Amazing, and it's an amazing book by a priest called Abbott. I don't remember the name. His name is Abbott. About this world this flat world, this 2-dimensional world. And the main character is a square that is moving this way on 2 dimensions, and he actually joins a sphere that is 3-dimensional. This sphere can teach him that exists another dimension, so something that he doesn't know. So it took him to a journey through the 3rd dimension.
Wow.
And that's an amazing book. It's very short. It's very short. And it's about religion, but it's not just about religion. It's about thinking that there's something else maybe you don't know, and you have to discuss yourself and taking, that's what the song is about.
Okay.
And it's about the character. So there are just 2-3 songs about myself, and the other are about characters. And it was fun to write the stuff.
So how did you get hooked up with Alain Johannes?
By email.
Oh, excellent.
Everyone asks me, how can you work with Alain Johannes? How can you work with a producer that is in California? Just write him. Just write an email and ask, can you work with me? Can you listen to the songs? And
Al
that's
is
great
such an amazing
he's
guy.
the nicest person. He's the nicest person.
He really is.
He's the nicest person. And it took me a lot because he was on tour with PJ Harvey.
Okay.
And I did a road trip with my girlfriend in California. And while we were in California, we were in Joshua Tree, and I was like, okay, maybe I can meet Alain Johannes. And he was in Italy playing with PJ Harvey at the same time. That was the worst timing ever.
I hate to say it, but that's poetic.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was okay, nothing else.
Oh, man.
Nothing to do here. Okay. we'll just take our trips.
Yeah, you still have to go to the places that inspire a lot of what he's done and what Queens of Stone Age have done, and also.
Yeah. I've traveled through Mojave Desert, and Joshua Tree is an amazing place.
Yeah.
And the Death Valley was the best place, and it's the worst and best place on earth at the same time, because it's so you're in danger. You're there.
It's trying to kill you.
In danger.
It is trying to kill you.
It's trying to kill you. But at the same time, it gives you, I don't know, some sort of relax, because you are in the middle of nothing. It's not. It's a strange feeling, because you can die.
Yeah.
Okay. You die, and you think, okay, I can die, but I'm so. That's peaceful, I can
die, but I'm good with that. I can die, but then I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that. But, it's a strange feeling, and that's the song called "Crows."
Yes,
in the record that is about that journey. And
it's one of my favorites.
Hiding from the shadow that is the road, waiting for tomorrow. Does anyone care? Feed them now. We fear tomorrow. Does anyone care?
It's about anxiety, because those crows are a metaphor for panic attacks or anxiety that I started to have during those years.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself very relaxed in that strange and dangerous environment. I don't know why.
So you start to understand a little bit more deeply how bands like Kyuss and Queens of the Stone Age come up with their really unique music.
Yeah.
By going there.
It opens your mind.
I'm sure that environment, kind of shapes you.
Yeah, I think so. And it shaped me in a very small way, because I spent like just one day, a couple, 2-3 days there.
But it can be very impactful.
Yeah.
All right,
and that song is about that. And I've written to Alan Manager, and he listened to the record, and it was like, "What's your budget?" "Not that much." "Okay, we'll see. If he likes it, we can do it."
Yeah,
and that's the thing, he liked it, and it was like, okay, that's okay for me.
Yeah,
it was very, very easy. And I met him after another PJ Harvey concert in Turin, here in Italy, and I was like, okay, I've sent to your manager my album for mixing it, and it was like, oh, great, I can do that.
That's
give
awesome.
me your CD, and give me your CD, and I give him my CD, my CDR, and he lost it.
Oh.
There was this pause because of comic timing.
That was beautiful.
He lost it, but he listened to the MP3 that I sent him, and it was great, and it was so surreal for me, because we worked. I was here in Milan. I'm in Milan, by the way.
Okay.
And he was in Hollywood, and I was doing my daily job and running home and taking WhatsApp or Skype with him, and talking with him with Alain Johannes. It was surreal, because I was working doing my stuff, my shitty stuff, and then going home. Like I'm sorry, I cannot stand here because I had to talk with Alain Johannes from California.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him about mixing, about the stories that he told me, and it was great because he was talking about Josh, Dave,
Yeah.
His friends.
Yeah.
Okay. He was walking with me, and I was saying, "Are you going to another tour, maybe with Dan Crooked Vultures?" And he said, "I don't know. I've seen Dave yesterday." And I was like, "Okay, Dave is Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
He's talking with me." Yeah.
So one step away.
It's just one step away from Josh Homme.
Yeah.
And it was
I know exactly what you mean.
Okay, no problem. And I say, okay, no problem. We can talk about putting my vocals in the right or left channel now. Okay.
I gotta go. Mark Lanigan's at the door.
Yeah. That's what happened, because he was saying, I'm sorry, but next week, next couple of weeks, we have to take a pause because I have to do the new Lanigan record. Okay.
Crazy.
And then I come back to you. Okay.
Hey, I'm good with that.
I'm good with that. I have no problem with that. To do it, please.
Yeah, exactly. Take care of
please.
go ahead, take care of Mark.
Take it to Mark. But that's great. That's what's great about Alain is that he treats all the people at the same level.
Yeah.
And he's working with Lanigan, and he's working with you. And then he's working with Josh Homme, and then he's working with another unknown band from an unknown place.
And Chris Cornell.
And as long as it's interesting, he's doing it.
Yeah.
For big money, small money, don't care about it.
If it's interesting to him, he'll do it.
Yeah. And it's such an amazing guy, and it's great for me because it's strange because here in Italy, if I want to work with a famous producer that has worked with Chris Cornell, let's say the Italian Chris Cornell,
yeah.
I don't know who he is, but it doesn't exist. Italian Chris Cornell, I had to spend tons of money, and he won't just answer me because I'm not famous, and because there's no hype around my project, but Alain Johannes doesn't care about hype. No. Because who cares about hype? Yeah. Just those labels that we talk about.
Well, his whole career is I think if there was any point in which hype mattered to him, he's well past that, because he grew up with the Chili Peppers, with guys that just exploded, worked with Chris Cornell, Soundgarden. Yeah. Worked with some of the most amazing musicians on the planet. And I think
he's humble.
Yeah, and
that's
I think
the key.
If there was ever a point where it mattered to him, he got well past it, and he's like, you know what, I just like music, and if I like it, I'll work on it. Yeah. So I was.
And that's a way to live in freedom, total freedom.
Yeah, and
because he's in Chile right now, I think.
Yeah. He's kind of been there since the pandemic started.
If you want to do something that's hype, you don't go to Chile.
No, that's true. That's true.
There's no hype in Chile.
No.
There's no hype in Italy.
And
there's no hype in other countries, but just in California. But it's not working just with Californians.
Exactly.
It's working with everyone that he finds interesting.
And his story is amazing.
That's. You have to see the movie.
I did.
The documentary.
I did.
You did. My girlfriend cried a lot.
I did.
There's this moment in the movie when he's singing "Endless Eye."
Yeah.
And the song "Endless Eye," and my girlfriend was just crying, like never ending, crying.
It's such
it's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
Because it's great. It's great and sad and inspiring at the same time, because he took all the bad things and turned it into art. Yeah. And that's inspiring for me, because the gospel is not a happy record.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I think you can say that. But I took some bad things that happened, like my grandmothers died. Yeah. Both of them during the recording of the record, and it inspired me for the last song, Returning. Returning is a song that is about different things, and I'm not going to explain them totally, but the death of my grandmother and the other grandmother, and 1 year after, inspired my idea, because one of them has Alzheimer.
Oh, yeah.
And Alzheimer, and it was a strange journey for her to live that thing.
Yeah.
And that song is about that journey. It is a kind of a journey that is backwards.
To defeat fights, I got in myself and got outside, falling through the bright lights of a city where my eyes got dried. You know I tried not to care, looking like a man, but now I'm trying hard again.
You're losing memory. You're losing the idea of where you are and who are the people that are around.
Yeah.
But you are remembering things, or at least she was remembering things about 40 years.
My
ago.
grandfather had it, and when he passed,
And 50 years ago, and she was going backwards, and it just turned into a child.
yeah. My grandfather couldn't remember my mom, but he could remember stuff that happened in 1943.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
it was the same with my grandmother, with my mother.
Yeah. It's weird.
And
weird
that was weird, and it was a kind of inspiration for that song.
Okay.
For the lyrics of that song.
So the songs are really interesting. It's got a definite Mark Lanigan feel to the album, but some of the songs are a little more theatrical in their sound.
Yeah.
Not like it's like Cabaret or
No,
anything.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, exactly.
No
But-
Bohemian Rhapsody.
But like the song Playtime, there's definitely a little bit of a theatrical feel to that song.
Sometimes I get along with my friends, at the same time I belong with who I am. When the sun slides slow by, see you're never long. Damn. Nuns from Babylon in a
Was theater an influence to you at all? Do you have any experience in that?
No. I don't have an experience in theater. That song was inspired by you're talking about the style of the song, like that.
The sound of it, yeah.
It was inspired by a band that is Queens of the Stone Age related, that are Mini Mansions. Don't know if you know them. Mini Mansions are the band of the bass player from Queens of the Stone Age.
Nick?
The actual the bass player, the actual bass player now.
Oh,
is
okay.
Michael Schumann, and Michael Schumann has this band. He's the bass player on Queens of the Stone Age, and has this band where he sings and play drums and guitar.
Okay.
And they have this kind of feeling. It's very piano related.
Yeah.
And that song is piano related because you can see that my piano lessons from 20 years ago, 25 years ago,
They paid off.
Till now, they paid off because I wrote that song on piano. That song and the song Devil were written on piano.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I want to write a song with this style, that kind of thing. And Playtime came out of nowhere.
Okay.
But it was inspired by Many Mansions stylistically, and a bit by Pink Floyd, I think. The middle part was very the middle part when it slows down. I was talking with my drummer and I said, you're gonna play it like it's Pompeii. Live at Pompeii. You have to do the slow echoes thing, because Echoes is one of my favorite songs by Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
and
one of my favorite albums.
Song really, it really stayed with me since I was a kid.
Yeah,
and the inspiration is that theater. I'm into movies a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into music and movies, but theater not.
Okay.
My first record was "See You in the Trees." It's a quote from David Lynch. I'm a really big Twin Peaks fan, and David Lynch fan, and the song "Sycamore Trees" that is in the Firework with Me movie that has this line, "I'll see you in the trees," and I'm doing a cover version of "See You in the Trees." That's a preview. We're going to release a cover of "See You in the Trees" in a very gloomy and dark arrangement, I think for December or November.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that, but I want to ask you a couple more songs on the gospel.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so Crows is one of my favorites. I absolutely love that song. Yeah. Starving is so cool. That's very hypnotic. I love that.
You like that?
I love it. But one of the neatest things on the album is the really weird, quirky guitar sound you got on the Weather song. Where did that come from? All of a sudden you get this weird little guitar thing, and how did that come to mind to play this weird little noodly, awkward sounding guitar? It's so cool.
That was, I think, it's inspired by Tom Waits.
Ah, okay.
And the style is very Tom Waits and Mark Ribot. Mark Ribot is a guitar player.
Amazing.
And it's about just not doing notes, just noises. Or there's another band, I don't remember them. Lounge Lizards. I've listened to them a lot.
Okay.
Lounge Lizards, you know them.
I've heard of them.
They're fake. They were known as a fake jazz band from, I don't know if it was the late 70s or early 80s, with John Lurie as a saxophone player, and there was Arlo Guthrie.
Okay. I think that's why I remember. That was familiar.
And that was fake jazz, and I've listened to that record a lot in my life, and I don't think it's clear inspiration for the record, because but there's something jazzy here and there.
It seeps in a little bit.
And that song is a mixture of Tom Waits and Lounge Lizards, and very nocturnal song that I wanted to arrange that way. And the coda, the last part, is clearly Queens of the Stone Age inspired.
Yes,
because I love that song. I think I Lost My Headache.
Yeah,
Rated
R. Yeah,
and has that last part when it all goes bananas. Everything is going. Yeah, and I want a thing like that. And
it's just swirling around.
Yeah, and forth. Yeah, and those guitar and speeding up all the time, and that was the idea. And that song actually is inspired by a movie it's called Hardcore. Paul Schrader. Paul Schrader is a great director. I love Paul Schrader. Is one of my favorites, and he's always dealing with Catholics theme and religious themes, sin, and the idea of sin, the idea of darkness, of the dark part of your soul. He wrote Taxi Driver. He wrote The Last Temptation of Christ by Martin Scorsese. He wrote 2 or 3 movies by Martin Scorsese. And he did his own movies as a director. And the Hardcore is the story. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
So, but I totally recommend it, and it was an inspiration for the lyrics of the song.
So,
that, by the way, is about the flood. The flood, the ark, Noah's ark.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So we're waiting for the clouds in the song because we're waiting for the rain to come and erase all this shit. And that's a very happy thought.
Right now, yeah. All right, so during this whole lockdown, you've been doing a podcast called Super Stereo.
Yeah, it was a fake radio thing because I was just choosing songs from 2020 and new music because we had a lot of time to listen to new stuff.
Yeah.
So I was, okay, we are going to listen to new stuff. And I used that to find out new bands, new projects, new things. I had a lot of free time to spend to listen to music.
Yeah.
And I used that and I say, okay, I want to try to do a sort of podcast, sort of radio. There was not that much talking, more music.
Okay.
With little info about songs and artists, and it has to be new stuff, new music. Because I'm always dealing with people that saying that there's no new music, everything's shit right now. I like the old stuff from the 70s, and they have 20 years, and they are 20 years old, so it doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
So I was using that to find out new music and just recommend it to my friends.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
It was a nice experience. I don't know if I will do that, but I think I will because we will be in lockdown again.
Yeah. So now you've also been recording some covers with some of your friends.
Yeah.
So how did that get started?
One cover with my girlfriend. We are singing After Hours by Velvet Underground.
Okay.
And you can find that on YouTube.
If you close the door, the night could last forever. Leave the wine glass out and drink a toast to never. Oh, someday I know someone will look into my eyes and say hello. You're my very special one. If you close the door, I'd never have to see.
And that was the first thing. And then we started to, because I have a friend in Rome that plays drums, and I want to record a song by Alain again. I was okay. We can do that just for fun.
Yeah.
And another friend that lives miles away. I want to play with him, but we didn't see each other. We never see each other.
Yeah.
So we can use this time in our house to record another song, and one thing's led to the other, and we have 5 songs, and it's an EP that we're going to release, I think, for December. 5 songs. So, and then the next one, I think it will be a cover by a band called Fat White Family.
Okay.
It's an English band. It's called Catch the Leather, and it was fun because it was me, my girlfriend playing saxophone. She doesn't know how to play saxophone, but she has it. So
that's cool.
We tried to record it. Saxophone and flute, and my bass player from Milan. I was in Rome. He was in Milan. Another friend is on a mountain. I don't remember why, playing keyboards. Another friend doing vocals from miles away. I was like 6 people together. Another playing just kazoo for just one song, and that's the development of the idea of the Garry Pitcairn Orchestra. That is actually me with an orchestra, but not a band as a traditional band, but everyone can be in the Garry Pitcairn Orchestra. Even you, if you want to play something,
I'm in.
On a song, you can.
I'm in. I don't play anything particularly well, but I'm in. If I can do something, I'll do it.
Me too. But the idea, we have to understand that the idea is not playing well, but it's just playing the right thing the right moment.
Awesome.
So it's not playing well. I'm not a good player. I'm not a good singer. I'm not a good guitar player. I'm just a singer-songwriter.
I dispute some of that because I really liked the gospel. I thought that's such a cool album.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, so where can people find the album, all your albums? If they can find your first one, I'll See You in the Trees, or the gospel, or the new EP that's coming out?
Well, the main thing is, unfortunately, is Spotify. I don't know if you listen to news, but Spotify is not a great place. But it's mandatory right now, so I have to use that. And you can find the first the only two records, on Spotify or Bandcamp. I have Bandcamp on my own label that is called Danza Records.
Okay.
Danza. I don't know how you can say that.
Danza.
D-A-N. That's Danza. It's like dance.
Right. D-A-N-S-V-A, right?
Yeah. And Danza Records, and that's the label that I use for all my projects. There's another band called The Great Book of Danza, where I play and make noise. We did 3 mostly instrumental records. We've done a soundtrack for a show movie 10 years ago, I think. And I'm using that for all my projects.
Oh, cool.
So the record, you can find the record on Bandcamp. I think that's on Amazon too, iTunes, and all the shitty corporate stuff. But please use Bandcamp. Please use Bandcamp. Yeah, that's the most important thing.
I love Bandcamp.
So, Bandcamp is the greatest place when you can place your music.
Where can people follow you on social media so they can get updates on the EP of covers that will hopefully be out around the end of the year? Is that about right?
I got Facebook.
Okay.
Garry Pitcairn, and Instagram. I use quite a lot of Instagram because it's fun. I don't use Twitch because I'm too old, but I'm not that old to use just Facebook, so I use Instagram.
Yeah, my kids keep telling me Facebook's for old people.
Yeah, it's for that.
Yeah,
and Instagram is for kids, not that much, and Twitch is for kids. But I'm not going to use that. And TikTok is that.
Oh, forget it. I don't even get into TikTok. I thought about Twitch. I think I started a Twitch account, but I never did anything with it because I don't understand it. And TikTok.
Maybe Twitch is good for this idea of podcast.
I thought about it, but I don't really understand how it works with podcasts. Because I see a lot of live stuff on there.
Yes, mostly live. Yeah,
but I don't do this live because I like to edit because I screw up a lot.
Screw up a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Well, Garry, thank you so much, man. This has been a blast. I really do appreciate you coming on and telling me about all the experiences making the gospel and learning about this awesome covers EP that will be coming out.
Yeah, it will be. But the gospel is always the main thing of my career right now. The gospel is. It's a record that was so important for me that I want to push it as long as I can because it's important. And this coronavirus just shut it down in the middle because we were touring and we had dates and we have at least 3, 4, 5 dates that were already scheduled that we didn't do that. Because of the coronavirus. We were playing like the very day before the moment when every venue in Italy just closed. And the day before we were touring, and we were like, okay, from the worst place because it was one of the center of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
But don't tell anyone because your people is not that safe.
Yeah, and they get scared.
They don't feel safe. Yeah, they're scared. So we were from Milan, and I was saying, my band is from that place when there is the cluster, main cluster of coronavirus. And they were like, "Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you please stay away from me?"
Yeah.
And they were there to play with us because it was the backing band, the opening band.
Oh.
It's like, "Oh, okay." So,
Yes.
please,
You go on that side.
yeah.
Oh,
And that's bad because we were really into this thing of touring and promoting the record and after all the stuff. I got friends that had a record out the week before
oh, wow.
the lockdown.
Yeah.
And so they released the record after 7 years. My friend, there's a friend of mine that has this band, and it took 7 years, and they put out the record, and then after a week, we had lockdown, so they didn't promote it, and they spent a lot of time, money, of course, and all this stuff, and they had a label, so it was bigger than me, and they are just at home right now.
Oh, what band is that? At least we can maybe give them a little plug here. Who is that?
It's an Italian band. It's called Testa in Tasca. It's a head in the pocket.
Okay. Well,
and
check that out. Maybe we can.
You can set them up.
Maybe they'll get a few downloads out of this. Hopefully.
Yeah. Hope so.
So, here, thank you again so much for coming on. It's been fantastic. I really am enjoying the album, and
thank you for having me.
And the first album too. They're both really good.
Thank you for having me.
I used to kneel, all the precious words I used to hear, all the memories I used to fear for my love, all the money that I used to earn, all the houses that I used to burn, all the prayers that I used to